Before we get started, I'd like to apologize that it took so real long to make a video. I had some issues, some technical issues behind the scenes. We got fixed. Anyway, let's start with the video. This is the first time you click this video. I usually do once a month a segment I like to call Forgottn Cartoons. Forgottn Cartoons is all about they focus on a series that is not really that popular, unless in 1 to 2 seasons, maybe 3, and then got forgotten. Sometimes because it got canceled too soon, maybe it wasn't that great, or maybe it was amazing, but somehow it just got forgotten, and that's it. But of course, you have other rules that I've never touched any really popular cartoons only for this segment, because it's more important is the sort of forgotten gems. That's why I'm doing this. Anyway, today our focus will be Clerks the anime series. Now this anime series is really special because it's one of the few elite good based on animated movies, because every time they make a anime series based on a movie, it's 90% of the time sucks. It's something that's really hard to do because every time they do one, it just doesn't work. In fact, there are very few I can name that actually is that good high quality. In fact, the first one who actually ever do it right was the real Ghostbusters. Yes, this anime series that is outdated, but goddamn, it's really good running, really thought out. It's just that high quality. The rest of them they attempt to do even different versions of other based on movies. It just doesn't make the same level. It just falls apart. They try too hard, make too many changes, make too many things. It just doesn't. But the reason why Clerks, the anime series, works is two main reasons. Well, actually 3, but we get to that. And the first reason is from the original creator, Kevin Smith. You see his movies, the guy likes to experiment, even though you don't like him right now, because he has a lot of hate what happened in the He-Man universe, but we're not gonna talk about that. But the guy likes to lead through things a while to see it actually work, especially his first movie called Clerks. That movie is sort of special. It's a movie I highly recommend watching, especially if you're a college or barely graduating from school or you're still in school. It's one of those that help you decide what to do in life, because that's all about all that movie. Two guys working their clerk job and talking about, dude, just quit your job and leave this place. And that's it. It's a simple story, but it's just so well made. It's sort of a chill, very out there, fun, down-to-earth, good film. It's the reason why people love Kevin Smith, because of that movie. It's so different, so chillax, so understanding geek culture. You're just like, wow, he is one of us. Of course, after he fell off the cliff. But besides that, he made the anime series because he was attached and he was the head writer. He understood Clerks so well, and especially if you've seen the movie had a statement of this animated style. Because it's like a scene that he supposed to go in a funeral, but at the same time, if you really think about it, making a funeral, making fun of it, it's sort of hard to make it work in live action, so he decided to make an animated segment of the movie. It just was hilarious. Because of that, they made the animated movie. I'm not the animated series. And the same art style, the same situations, but once again, that's another problem. This is the second problem, because the Clerks has a beginning and ending, and it doesn't really need sequels. It does have sequels. It's kind of hard to regrab the magic of the film and make it the anime series, because Clerks is just sort of two guys talking, and that's it. And it's sort of hard to make that in show, live action series, or mini sequels, because you have to make sure the character's super likable, super charming, especially the dialogue, the chemistry, the voice actors had to have that clicked. Lucky for us, that's why this anime series was actually kind of good, because it bring everyone with them. The original actors, the original art style, the creator, everything just kind of works, but once more, that's why I admit Kevin Smith is sort of a guy who likes to experiment because every time he does experiment to him when in films or series, he does get success because he's willing to try something different. And how he approached this anime series is sort of making fun of sitcoms. Now, especially you put it out one of the channel who basically make mostly sitcoms from the late 90s, ABC. They lasted about, 6 episodes. Even that only lasted 3 episodes. It got canceled. The other 3 got straight to DVD. So you have the whole collection of 6 episodes on a DVD if you want to see it or not. Yeah, I saw it. Show was actually kind of clever. Of course, not every episode lands because it's still sort of figuring out what to do because making a sitcom but instead of making fun of it, it could be the most best way to approach Clerks because they do a lot of cliches but making fun of these cliches and sort of hit or miss. And that's better to describe the anime series. It's sort of a hit or miss. Depends which episode you see you think you kind of like. You're sort of wondering if this show lasted at least given like maybe 2 seasons, you could actually see figuring out what went wrong because you know anything. The first season always was this is what I think the series kind of looks like, but it actually is a season 2 where it actually finds your footing. You understand what worked. And I think that's the only problem. I didn't have enough time to figure out where to land. But even that, only 6 episodes, it's actually pretty charming. It's very entertaining if you like the characters. Now, each episode is sort of a formula as you see our main character Dante waking up, dragging himself all the way to work with his best friend Randall, and asks this question, there's anything else in life than this? And sort of shenanigans begin, but once more, it sort of feels this show is a sitcom, but almost like a bottle sitcom because everything happens in the clerk's office and you just try to figure out what to do. It's sort of you see a challenge. I mean, what can you do with this sort of scenario? That's when they bring a new character called Nirado, or LL for short, because he's basically the villain, the rival of the clerks. He has better successful, he's older, he's smarter, he has money. He is a villain of villains. He's one of those type of characters that you just got charmed by the show. He only has a few scenes, the first episode and maybe 2 episodes focused on him, but goddamn, he is a great villain. He's sort of over exaggerated, over poignant. He just sort of kind of classic late 90s sort of villain, but make sure this show was created in the 2000s, exactly in 2000s, so you have that sort of cheesy charm. It just works. Especially he has a right-hand man who is basically a talking, walking reference of Hopchop of 007. Yeah, he's that kind of evil henchman, but you see in the 007 movie of Hopchop, you realize it's a reference, but once more, it's his own thing. And that's why I like this show, is trying to make reference, but at the same time makes his own thing. It just works. But I love it that they try to do so many weird parodies, weird kind of cameos. That was more. It's sort of a hodgepodge of throwing things in the wall. If it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. And I think that's why it kind of charmed me. I mean, it's not perfect because this series is sort of outdated. It's exactly the 2000s, sort of between 90s and 2000s humor. On top of everything else, one of the main characters dresses exactly between 90s and 2000s. His shirt open, his hat backwards. He works at a rental store that doesn't exist anymore. I mean, it's basically like a time capsule because they use so many things, so many different lingos of that time period. You just don't realize, like, wow, this is extremely outdated. It also sort of kind of gay jokes could easily trigger people, but once more, for a 2000 show, it's actually kind of progressive because they're okay with gay people. Be gay if you chooses. And that's the thing that kind of throws me off. Like, whoa, what? I thought this is a 2000 show, but no, it's kind of progressive for its time. Even what they're trying to do. But once more, this show deserved to be canceled. Well, it's one of those like yes and no, because the first couple episodes are kind of rough, but you understand what they're trying to do. You're still trying to recapture it, but at the same time making fun of a lot of cliches like flashback episode 2. Episode 2 have a ton of flashbacks, but the first episode, but making fun of it. Why are we doing flashbacks? We don't know. But once more, that was a joke. And that's why I enjoy it. They try things. Yeah, I do appreciate it. Yeah, I highly recommend it. If you like the movie, if you didn't, you never seen the movie, try the show. Maybe you'll like it or not, but it's one of those things that sort of works. And you love it that all the characters that really captured the soul of the personalities of the movie. Even Jay, because Jay is one of those characters that's really hard to pass through the censor, especially in ABC, because that character cusses like the storm. I mean, he's one of those characters, he's not well educated, that every single sentence you have to have drop a F-bomb to start a sentence or end a sentence. And that's how uneducated this character really is, but he's so likable, so trashy, so over the top. But at the same time, can you actually take the soul of that character and bring in the show? Yes, you can. Of course, at the limit of his cuss words, make him change some few things, but once more, you have the full character, and that enough I appreciate, because this show tried all he can to make it work. Now, I got one question. Do you see this series? You think it was that good? It was sort of tell me down below, let me know. I got really nothing else to say. Just thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and have a wonderful day. Bye.